Hi, everyone. I'm just asking that you give me a few minutes and let me run a thought, a theory, or whatever you want to say, by you. I have been meditating and brainstorming for quite some time, several months, on Naughty Beaver's prophecy theory, on how there are two different timelines on how these end of days can go, one being negative, one being positive, and how that we may be able to manifest that positive ending. I just couldn't figure out how. I've always had this picture in my mind's eye that the only way that we can ever complete that is to come together and unite as one in love. I just didn't know how to even start or what to think and how can we do this, and it just seems so overwhelming. I do think that after what I saw today that it's possible, and I think love is the answer. I came across a video on YouTube and it hit me like a ton of bricks. I guess I had just never thought of it in the literal sense, as far as love can actually and will actually offset this negative frequency that we're bombarded by. The video is from Higherside Chat Channel. Dr. Leonard Horowitz is the guest speaker, and he specializes in spirit science, weaponized sound, and anything to do with frequency.
I don't know. Have you ever, Greg, had a real death or near-death experience?
No, I don't think I've had a near-death experience. I've had some psychedelic experiences that felt like it was going to go that way, but no, not really.
Okay. Well, one of these days, maybe you should interview some folks, call for folks who have had those, and ask them what it was like. And what you'll find is the commonality. And I've had it at least a half a dozen times where I actually should not even be here right now. I'm on borrowed time, believe me. And, I'll give you one instance, just very briefly. I was in love. I was literally being rejected by a woman who I was madly in love over, and it was a summer fling, and she went back to Bennington College up in Vermont, I think it was Vermont, New Hampshire, and she's now I'm calling her from a telephone in a telephone booth, a glass telephone booth, the older style ones, in a ghetto of New Brunswick, New Jersey, in front of the oldest church in New Jersey, in New Brunswick, New Jersey. And I'm pleading my heart out to salvage the relationship. As she's not really hearing me, I see out of my eye a half a dozen gang members coming towards the booth, and I'm not really focused on them, but I'm talking with her, and I'm pleading with her in love. And they get to the phone booth and they start to bang their fists on the windows. And I just smile at them and I wave at them because I'm focused on getting this relationship salvaged, right? I'm not focusing on them at all. Mm-hmm. 30 seconds later, suddenly, instantaneously, and this is what's common among all people who have near-death or real-death experiences. And it's really an indication of how much love that our Creator has for us, that would put us into a state, an altered state, at the most potentially traumatic time of our lives, where we have to leave the planet in death. That potentially most painful and traumatic time, this is what happens. I just simultaneously heard a crash, and everything became etheric and slow motion like. I saw little sparkles, like glass-like sparkles, and a red kind of like filmy haze in my mind's eye. And I then heard another slight crash, and then all of a sudden everything went back to normal time from slow motion. And I thought, what the heck was that? Now, mind you, I have on my right hand, I've got the telephone where I'm pleading love. Now, I'm in a small telephone booth. You know, you can't take one step forward. You can't take one step back. You got a glass window on your left. You got a glass window on your right. Now, I look, what the heck was that? What was that red filmy thing that I just saw? That thing? And I look to my left, and I see that the glass to my left is completely shattered, right at the level of my head. I go, what the heck? And I then looked, and I said, well, what was that? And I looked to my right, and the glass to my right wasn't completely out, but it was broken right at the level of my head. And I go, well, whatever came in on my left hit right here on my right. What was that? I looked down, and there's a red brick.
Wow.
Greg, I swear, there's no other reasonable explanation for what happened to me other than to conclude that I had a red brick go through my head. And I did not feel one thing.
Wow.
Everything went into slow motion. Everything went into kind of like this etheric state. And I then continued to plead in love. I went back to my apartment after this thing, and I wrote a beautiful love song. I was inspired by the moment. But again, what is the metaphysics? What would it take for something like that to actually happen? It is explained by what it is that we've been talking about. How do you levitate a 50 million ton slab of sandstone, granite, that the ancient pyramids have? How do you do that? You don't do it by a machine, a physical machine. You do it by a sound, a frequency resonance that puts you into, not, in this case, an altered state. The altered state is an altered molecular resonance, so that what gravitationally would be prohibited is somehow miraculously directed. That is the only reasonable explanation.
So this week I'm going to challenge myself. The most love that I've ever had for another human is the love that I have for my son. I think any parent can vouch for that. So this week, whenever I'm at work and I'm feeling anger, frustration, jealousy, greed, any negative feeling, I'm going to try to put myself in a state of mind and just think of that love that I have for my son. And hopefully those negative feelings will just bounce right off of me and ward off whatever is trying to come my way. I challenge you all to do the same, and please put your thoughts below. I really think we might have something here. So now imagine thousands, millions of people around the world picking a date and a time, and all of those people at the same time meditating, thinking just of that perfect love in each of our lives. What could that do? What could that feeling and that perfect love and God's creation, what he meant for us to feel, what could that energy do? Can it change our current timeline? Can it offset a doomsday event that may, imprison our souls again? I don't know. But let's try. Let's see if this works. God bless all of you. Thank you so much. Unite in love.
Do what it takes.